G'day guys, how's it going? So in this video, we're going to look at enum data in Rust and how we can use it to improve this code a little bit. So if you haven't seen my previous video, basically what I did is I added a method called promote, and I had a set of rules that said if you're a beginner, add $30,000 and change the level to intermediate. And then if you're intermediate, you go up by 80,000 and set it to pro, right? And if I said pro, do nothing. Now, probably the major issue with this one is the pro, right? We can't update the salary for pro players because eventually pros are going to get paid more over time, right? The more pro they are, the more they should get paid. So we're going to switch up this function here, this associated function, or this method, I should say, and we're going to include another parameter that allows us to pass in whether they receive a salary increase or not. So what that will mean is that this decision of salary won't be hard coded in here. It'll be passed into the promote method. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make a decision as to whether they should be promoted or not. So I'm going to actually capture this in an enum, and I'm going to talk about enum data when I get to that. So let's create an enum. I'm just going to call it RaiseResult. And this is going to take two values. It's either yes, we've got a raise, or no, we don't. Okay. Now, the good thing about Rust is sometimes when we have an option like this, like yes or no, you want to add some additional information, right? And we can do that by just adding parentheses after the fact. And then in this parameter list, we can specify types, right? So I can say, for example, I want a parameter that's maybe an F64, and then maybe another one's a string, and then maybe another one's an I32. And then what happens is, and we can do something like this, right? I can come into this code. I'll just do it here. We can put raise result, type of raise result equals raise result, colon, yes. But then we have to specify those three values. So I could do something like 10.2, and then we need a string. So we go string from test. And then lastly, we need integer, right? So I could say 9. And this allows us to associate with that option some extra piece of information, right? That's the important factor here. So for this example, what I want to do is when they say, yes, there is a raise, I want to capture what is the raise. So I'm going to restrict this down to just one option, which is the F64. Cool. So I'm just going to remove this line. And now what I want to do is I want to use this raise result as a parameter to my promote method. So I'm going to put raise result. I've typed raise result. Cool. Now, down to my logic in main, I'm just going to quickly fix this up because it's going to break. So for the first one, I want to say yes, I want a raise. All right, and what I'm going to set there is that 30,000 that we originally specified. So if we look at the logic up here, you'll see the 30,000 there, right? Then for the second one, I think we're going to go up by 80,000. Like so. And then for the next one, let's say we're pro. So before we weren't updating the raise, but let's say on the first promotion, we're going to also say, and I've just made a mistake here. Just realized that should be raise result. Yes. For this one, we are going to give them a raise, and we're going to set the raise to maybe 25,000 on the first raise. Then on the last promotion, we're not going to give them a raise, which is probably beside the point because we shouldn't be promoting anyway, right? Raise result dot no. Oh, sorry, I put a dot, not two colons. That's why it didn't work. So now we're saying no raise, right? So we've updated the calls. Now we just need to use this thing, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the salary update here and from here. And really, this becomes a simple level check. But for now, we'll leave it as a match. And the other thing you can do too is if there was ever more than 3 states here, say there were like 5, you can use an underscore to capture all the rest. Just something to keep in mind. That's just with the match clause. So I could capture this raise result in a number of ways. I could go match and then go raise result. And then basically I have to capture both yes and no. So we go raise result yes. And then I capture the salary. All right. And then from that point, I can say self.salary plus equals salary, right? But then I would have to also capture no, which it's a bit redundant here because we're not going to be doing anything on no. All right. So another way to handle a double or 2 scenario situation like this is we could just use if let instead. So I can rewrite this to if let raise result colon yes salary equals raise result. If this is true, then we're just going to update the salary. And therefore, in this situation, we don't have to worry about no. And that makes our code a little easier to read. So let's just get rid of these comments and just give this a quick little test just to make sure that what we intend is going to work. So we've got our test scenarios here, essentially. So we click run. Now let's have a look if the increases happen. So remember, it's 30,000, then 80,000, then 25,000, then nothing. And the roles will, the levels will also update on the fly. So going to the very top one, we can see we start at 50K, we're a beginner. Next one, 80K, so it's gone up by the 30, intermediate. Next one, it's gone up by 80,000, and now we're a pro. Next one, we're still a pro, but it's gone up by 25,000 our pay. And then the very last one, when we're not asking to update the salary, we're still pro, and the salary is still 185. Okay? So this is how you can use Enum data to help you improve some of your code and make better decision making, as opposed to always using matches and then having to update individual fields accordingly. We can embed salary changes into an enum result in this case, and we can improve the experience as well as our code. So that's it for this video. I'll see you all in the next one.